Oh boy, more Hulk Hogan on my television. Yippee! I'm John Retton with the Retro Review WCW Nitro for December 18th, 1995. I'm not going to be doing these 1996 Nitro reviews. I just simply can't do it. All the shows are starting to blend together. I may do occasional ones. I may talk about the Hall and Nash debuts because that was a pretty hot time. But I'm just reviewing way too much stuff. Anyway, so the announcers, Bischoff, Heenan, and Mongo are running things down, and suddenly Madusa showing up. She used to be the WWE Women's Champion and used to be known as Alundra Blaze. She has a championship. She drops it in the goddamn trash. And that was a big shot fired across from WCW to WWE. That was a big goddamn deal. Now, sure, Madusa wishes she hadn't done it, but it was a pretty cool moment. And honestly, Vince was kind of a dick for firing all the women. Yes, he lost a lot of money in 1995, but it's like, good God, that was a real shit thing to do. It was just fucking bullshit. And sure, Medusa may regret it, but honestly, I really liked the moment. I thought it was pretty damn fucking cool. And then we have Eddie Guerrero versus Ric Flair. This was actually a pretty good preview of the matches they would have in 1996. And Eddie Guerrero would not quit, even passing out from pain due to the figure four and getting pinned 1, 2, 3. And I can understand that. Ric Flair wanted to obviously beat Eddie because he was going to face Randy Savage and beat Randy Savage at Starrcade 95. But Eddie Guerrero really did shine here, even though it was like a 6, 7 man TV match. It was pretty damn good. And then we have an interview. It's like they went match and then interview with the winner and then match and interview with the winner, and it was kind of silly, but it was formulaic. However, WWE was doing a lot of the same shit as well. Flair and Arn got interviewed, mentioned the Orndorff attack, and then Sullivan and Jimmy Hart show up, and Sullivan wasn't upset about Orndorff. He was upset because Pillman knocked the Dungeon of Doom. You can't knock all my guys, and then Arn kind of gets in his face about it because we're going to get this battle, and then we're going to get the alliance to end Hulkamania because nobody could possibly leave Hogan out of a goddamn spotlight marquee matchup like that. I may retro review Uncensored 96 just for how fucking ridiculous it is, but good fucking God, that goddamn 3-tier cage match was so bad. And then the announcers are bullet pointing more shit. Sergeant Craig Pitbull Pittman shows up and asks Heenan to manage him. Heenan says, I'm not managing anymore, but let me put you with somebody that can. I'm going to search out. And Pittman's like, he wants to be managed to the world title. That is adorable. But Heenan did, tell him, I will get you Jimmy Hart or somebody. I don't manage anymore, but I will help you out. And then we get Lex Luger with Jimmy Hart versus Marcus Alexander Bagwell, the future totally buff tag team members. Not great. I mean, Bagwell was never that great in the ring. Luger, despite a few flashes, really wasn't all that great either. He did later get the rack for the win, while Scotty Riggs, was cheering on Bagwell because they're the American males, American males, American males. And that song's going to be in my head. It's going to be in all your heads as well. And then we get a promo. Luger should never talk ever. Jimmy Hart was put with him to do the talking, and he should have done that. Luger's like, I'm going to get the world title. I'm the uncrowned champion. Da-da. Earl Robert Eaton, yes, Bobby Eaton, but as a British sympathizer, apparently, versus Sting. This was all right. It wasn't what it could have been a few years before. And Scorpion for the win, and then Sting gets interviewed, and it's the usual stuff, like my friendship with Lex Luger, da-da-da, I'm going to go for the world title at Starrcade, because it was almost a go-home show for Starrcade 95, and they were trying to build up the whole thing, for WCW and New Japan, for the World Cup of Wrestling. And then we get Randy Savage versus the Giant for the world title. And I will say this, it is kind of funny looking back at who would be the future Big Show doing splashes off the top and doing some aerial moves like hitting a dropkick because he was a really good athlete. I mean, it still is, don't get me wrong. He can't do a lot of the shit he used to do. Nobody could after all the bumps and bruises he's had and all the surgeries. But it was kind of cool. He kicked out of the elbow with enthusiasm and energy. He's like, just picks him up and does that, which was kind of cool. And then a choke slam, doesn't go for the cover, hits the leg drop. Here's Hogan with a chair, stops Giant from winning, lays out two referees. Earlier in the show, William Refrigerator Perry showed up and shook Bobby Heenan's hand, and because he was aligned with Mongo because of the whole Chicago Bears thing. And then William Refrigerator Perry and Steve Mongo McMichael are trying to stop Hogan from beating the Giant with a chair and getting suspended because that's been the whole storyline. And I think even Doug Dillinger took a chair shot, which was kind of hilarious. And then we do the normal, post-match promo. But, of course, Randy Savage being the champion can't get his time in. Nope. we had to have Hogan hogging the goddamn spotlight, and he's yelling. The Giant shows back up with Kevin Sullivan trying to hold him back, not very well. And then Hogan runs down, beats him up with a chair, and is obviously going to get suspended. He wants a title shot, by the way, against Randy Savage, despite the fact that Randy's facing Flair next week, even though they're also going to face off at Starrcade, though we don't know that yet. And then Hogan wants a title shot, but got booed. That was actually kind of cool. So overall, not a bad show, but it wasn't the greatest show. You guys let me know in the comments if you want me to continue some of these 1996 reviews. I'll do the occasional ones, but I don't think I can do them from week to week to week because it's a lot of fucking wrestling to watch. I will be reviewing WCW 2001 because I gotta see the end of that company. Anyway, agree, disagree, what I said, like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Retlin. I'll see you soon.